In this video, we're looking at how to find a line that passes through 2 points, and this is a really important skill to have in linear graphs or linear equations. So we're going to go through the various steps. So the first step is just to plot it so that you can see what's going on. So we're going to plot the 2 points. And this is just a way to check that we're not going to make a silly mistake, that we're not going to do something really that's going to cost us marks. So I just do this by freehand. I'm not going to bother ruling anything because this isn't for marks, it's just for my own understanding. So -3 and 2 is maybe somewhere around here, and -1, -5 is down here. So sort of immediately I can see that I'm going to have a negative gradient. And remember, the line goes through the points rather than just touching them. Now obviously I don't have a ruler, you guys will, so just, this is a straight line. Okay, step 2. Our first actual step is to find, actually before we do that, we're going to label the 2 points with x1, y1 and x2, y2. So I'm not even going to rewrite them, I'm just going to go over here. This is my first point. It doesn't actually matter which one you label as your first one, but just make sure that if this is x1, that's y1. If that's x2, that's y2. Now step 3 is going to be to find the gradient. If you prefer to find the gradient just by looking at the graph, as we've done a fair bit in class, that's fine. But let's have a look at the equation. So the equation is rise over run, and we calculate that as y2 minus y1 on x2 minus x1. Then we just sub in our values that we've already written, that we've already identified in here. Okay, so we end up with y2 is -5. Take away 2, all divided by -1, take away -3. Please be really careful. Don't stuff up this bit here. So very often people will just forget the second negative. It's minus because the minus comes from here. And then it's a -3 which comes from there. So we end up with -7 minus 1 plus 3 becomes 2. And so this is our gradient. As mature math students, we're going to keep it as an improper fraction. Okay, we like improper fraction. Cool. All right, so that's step 3. So we found the gradient. Step 4 is going to be to write down the equation just for a general straight line equation, which is y equals mx plus c. And we're going to replace m with our answer from step 3. So our answer from step 3 was -7 on 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to write down y equals -7 on 2 times x plus c, because we still don't know what c is. We do know that m though is -7 on 2. Okay, then we go to step 5. And step 5 is going to be to sub in either point in order to solve for C. So if I look at my 2 points, we've got -3, -2, and we've got -1, -3 and 2, -1 and -5. I reckon -3, 2 is probably easier for me. You might disagree, you might choose the other one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sub in -3 and 2, and I'm going to sub that into y equals -7 on 2x plus c. And so what I end up with, and so let me go over here, is, well, that's my y value, so that goes in there. And that's my x value, so that goes in there. So I end up with 2 equals -7 on 2 times -3 plus c. 2 equals, Now remember, negative 3 is the same as negative 3 on 1, so you can write it like that, so you can do the fraction multiplication easily. So we end up with 21 on 2 plus c. Let's write 2 as something on 2, so the denominators are the same. So I'm going to write 4 on 2 equals 21 on 2 plus c. And so therefore c equals negative 17 on 2. Okay, and so if we go through all that and we get to this stage, we would have gotten everything right, but we would lose a mark. And the reason we would lose a mark is because we haven't quite given the answer in the final form. So I'm just going to do a box here because I'm running out of room. And so my answer, my equation for the line is going to be y equals negative 7 on 2x minus 17 on 2. Again, improper is good. Alright, so that's how to find the equation of a line starting from 2 points. Sometimes those 2 points will be on a graph for you. Sometimes they'll just be given like this. Sometimes you just ask to find the gradient, in which case you only have to go up to here. But most of the time you're asked to find the equation, and if you are, you've got to go through these 5 steps and finally write out the answer.